Hi Katie, it's Fancy, and I'm looking at your latest iteration of your design. And thank you for getting it posted tonight before tomorrow's deadline. Anyway, one thing I wanted to point it out are these white lines. They won't print in your final printout. It seems to be um, something to do with the PDF viewer. So if you posted a JPEG, you wouldn't see these. And even though we see these in the PDF, you don't have to worry that they'll print. That's all I know. So anyway, so we're going to pretend that they're not there. Overall, this is looking really promising. And so we've got points of emphasis with kind of starting out kind of dark, and the centers are consistent. They start out with kind of a 2 by 2 square that are all the same value, so that's good. Um, and they kind of move in a similar direction, so that's good. Kind of this organic gradation, so you're not gradating across pathways, but kind of gradating at random, but still evenly away from the dark hub, and that's good. Um, so kind of generally kind of this arc, um, kind of this circular organic movement with your points of emphasis. They roughly feel like they're kind of circular, kind of a jagged, kind of circular shape. So the only place that I'm not getting that kind of jagged circular shape is the way that this one is flowing. So, maybe kind of lighten up the values a little over here and maybe a little over here. So these darker values kind of have more of an arc. And I think that will help kind of unify this corner with these three primary ones. You could do the same for this one. I know you're trying to get this green sandwiched in there. What you could do is, bring the darker hub of the green a little forward so you can keep gradating in the same fashion and get some more, actually these lighter values of green just kind of sprinkled, maybe even this value of green kind of introduced in here would create a really nice transition or transparency for this yellow and cyan. So just try to get some more green in there, especially kind of this value here. I think when we go with this value here next to the yellow, the boundaries aren't vanishing as well, and it seems like a harsher transition. And I think this would work well with the cyan as well. It's naturally easy to kind of make this cyan um, transition from cyan to green. They're just similar in value. Same with the purple. Actually, this is working pretty good, but if you can get a little bit more purple sandwich in there, that would be great. Now you kind of have this light area that creates a little bit of static movement in the middle, just because your points of emphasis are gradating to lighter and they all kind of converge here. So, you want to think about how you can break that up a little. Oh, and get a little bit more of that orange in here too, if possible. But overall, it's working pretty good. Now, where these areas come together, the importance of vanishing boundaries. Not every cyan that's adjacent to a green has to vanish perfectly, but make sure you have enough vanishing boundaries between the different hue families where they meet up in all of these different areas. So that will help them flow really smoothly. If you've got some kind of stray triangles like this, you could go with a darker value here, perhaps, um, to make these vanish a little bit. If you want to introduce some of the orange into the cyan, just make sure you're using your vanishing boundaries when you pair uh, different colors together. Pair them through their similar values. Now, You could also think about a secondary strategy if you wanted to. Um, you could think about complementary interpenetrations. You could take like one of these squares within the center hub and making sure that there's not too much of a contrast so that you have a little figure on a ground. You could introduce just a value of green, so maybe one of these middle values of green into the cyan, and then you could introduce reciprocating points of emphasis into all of these if you want, or maybe just the primaries. So you could have 3, or you could have all 6. Or if you want to work with visual pathways, you could kind of extend one of these smaller pathways into the center region where it's lighter. So you could gradate from where it is dark through its values through, so these, if this is 7, this is maybe, I think this must be 6, 6s and then 5s, and then 4s and 3s and 2s, extend a pathway into the center. Maybe there's one that kind of juts out from the magenta and it gradates to light, or gradates from light to dark, or dark to light, or something like that. And then do the same strategically, maybe one here and one here and one there. You kind of have to play around with it to get the right balance, or you can even do the same with the secondaries. So think about that. If you flip through some of the posts in the forum, you'll see where people are using different strategies to kind of break up either an additive design, such as this one, or a subtractive design. All right, I hope that helps, and this has come a long way. All right, I look forward to seeing where you go next.